Good morning, children. Now we'll study some compounds of the nitrogen, and the first compound that you are studying is ammonia. Ammonia is an important hydride of nitrogen. Actually, nitrogen forms three hydrides: ammonia, hydrazine, and hydrazoic acid. These are the three main hydrides of the nitrogen. You have to study here about the ammonia. The ammonia, we will study here the preparation properties of the ammonia. So first we will study about the preparation of ammonia. So ammonia is obtained on a small scale from ammonium salts which evolve it when heated with sodium hydroxide or lime. Actually, when ammonium salts are treated with sodium hydroxide or calcium hydroxide or any hydroxide, then they gives off ammonia. Now, this test you are doing in the laboratory also for the identification of ammonium ion. So when ammonium salts are heated with sodium hydroxide, it gives the smell of ammonia. That is the test for ammonium ion. So then it converted into sodium chloride, ammonia and water. So this is one preparation of sodium hydroxide. Then we can write with the calcium hydroxide also. When ammonium chloride reacts with calcium hydroxide, then it forms ammonia, calcium chloride and water. Now the second is ammonia can be prepared by many methods, like when the nitrides are hydrolyzed with water, then there is the formation of ammonia. And the second is the manufacture of ammonia, that you have to study in detail. The ammonia is prepared by the Haber's process in a large scale. In this process, ammonia is prepared by direct combination of nitrogen and hydrogen. So for the preparation, we have to take nitrogen and hydrogen, and then it is converted into ammonia. Now we have to see what are the main aspects for the greater yield of ammonia or the large amount of ammonia. So for this we have to see the reaction. You can see here the formation of ammonia is a reversible process. That means the equilibrium will be established there. And then the heat of formation of ammonia is minus 92 kilojoule per mole. That means the formation of ammonia is an exothermic reaction. Because it is the reversible reaction, exothermic and formation of ammonia is followed by a decrease in volume. These three aspects are here. You can see there the total number of moles are 4, and here the total number of moles in the product is only 2. So there is a decrease in volume. In the reactant side there are the 4 volumes. In the product side there is only 2 volumes. So there is a decrease in volume. So now we have to study about condition for greater yield of ammonia. So for this we have to study about first point, that is the high pressure. So first the nitrogen and hydrogen gases are compressed and increasing the pressure, that is near about 200 atmosphere pressure. So usually a pressure of 200 atmosphere is applied, because if you increase the pressure then the equilibrium will shift in the forward side. Because in the product side there is only 2 molecules, so the pressure is low, that's why the equilibrium will shift in the forward side. That means the increase in pressure will favor the formation of the ammonia. Now the second is the low temperature. Because the reaction is exothermic, it means when we increase the temperature, then the reaction will be reversed, or the ammonia which is formed here will decompose into nitrogen and hydrogen. So that's why the particular temperature is required. But when the temperature is very low, then also the production of ammonia will be decreased. That's why a particular temperature is required for the formation of ammonia, and that temperature is called as optimum temperature. And the optimum temperature required for the production of ammonia is around 700 Kelvin. That means this is the minimum temperature which is required for the greater yield of ammonia. So this is the second point. Now the third, we use catalyst because the nitrogen is inactive in nature. Hydrogen is also having very high bond dissociation energy. That's why to increase the rate of reaction, we use catalyst. So in order to speed up the reaction, a catalyst is used. For example, finely divided iron with some molybdenum as a promoter. Promoters are those substances which increase the activity of the catalyst. So the catalyst and promoters are required for the greater yield of ammonia. So this is about the how can we increase the production of ammonia. Many other examples are there for the catalyst. Finely divided nickel and soda lime deposited over pumice stone can also be used for the production of ammonia. So now this is for the production of ammonia. Now we'll see the properties of ammonia. First we'll see the physical properties of ammonia. Ammonia is a colorless gas with a characteristic pungent smell. That is having very strong smell. When we smell it, then you will get tears in your eyes. So it will bring the tears in your eyes. Now the second point, it is lighter than air, so it will go up. So third point, it is highly soluble in water. So when ammonia dissolved in water, then it is converted into ammonium hydroxide. It can be easily liquefied at room temperature by the application of pressure. So when we apply pressure over the ammonia, then due to the formation of hydrogen bond, the ammonia will be liquefied. So ammonia is gas which can be liquefied very easily. The chemical properties. For the chemical properties, the first property we will study the combustion. The combustion, ordinarily ammonia is neither combustible nor a supporter of combustion. However, it burns in the presence of oxygen to form nitric oxide and water. This is the basis for the production of nitric acid also. So we will study the process for the manufacture of nitric acid, that is Ostwald process, that we will study, in which the ammonia is oxidized to nitric oxide. So for the combustion, when we burn ammonia in the presence of air, in the presence of the catalyst, then it is converted into nitric oxide and water. Normally when we burn ammonia in water, then it gives the nitrogen gas and water. Now the second is the basic in nature. Ammonia is a Lewis base. That means the nitrogen has one pair of electron. So it is an electron pair donor. That's why it behaves like a base. So it has tendency to donate an electron pair. So on the basis of its nature, the nitrogen is having one lone pair of electron. That's why it can easily accept a proton and then it is converted into ammonium ion. That is related to the basic nature of the ammonia. The ammonia can also behave like the base in the solution, that is, it is converted into ammonium hydroxide when it is dissolved in water. Okay, now the third is the oxidation. The ammonia oxidizes chlorine and bromine both into nitrogen. So for example, the ammonia when reacts with the chlorine, then it gives the nitrogen and ammonium chloride. So there is the oxidation. So it oxidizes chlorine into the chloride ion. So when chlorine is in axis, when we take chlorine is in axis, then nitrogen trichloride is formed. So when ammonia is treated with the axis of chlorine, then it is converted into nitrogen chloride, nitrogen trichloride, and it gives the HCl. In the similar way, it reacts with the bromine gas also. And then you know the preparation, many other reactions, like the reaction with the bleaching powder, etc. Now next we study the reaction of aqueous ammonia. The ammonia is used in the laboratory in the form of ammonium hydroxide, and then it is used for the precipitation of many metal ions, and that you will study in the third group when we do the when we do the test for the ions, then that is the cations, then it is used for the identification of aluminium ion, and then this iron, and then chromium. So many metals compounds, when they are treated with ammonium hydroxide, they form a precipitate, and that is the basis of identification of these ions. The first you can say ferric chloride, when reacted with the ammonium hydroxide, any ferric ion when it is treated with ammonium hydroxide, you will get a brown precipitate of the ferric hydroxide. The color of the precipitate will be brown color. So brown precipitate will be formed, and then it is and you will get ammonium chloride also. When aluminum chloride is treated with ammonium hydroxide, or any salt of aluminum is treated with ammonium hydroxide, you will get a white precipitate of ppt of aluminum hydroxide. That is, white gelatinous precipitate will be formed. And when ammonia treated with chromium chloride or salt of chromium, then you will get a green precipitate of chromium hydroxide. So this is the basis for the identification of these metal ions. And one more test for the copper ion. To identification the copper, when we take a solution of copper salt and you put ammonium hydroxide into it, then the color deepens. And due to increase in the color intensity, we can identify the copper ion. That is the test for copper ion. So these are the chemical properties, and this property, fourth property, is very important for the examination purpose. Now we will study the structure of ammonia. The nitrogen, the nitrogen electronic configuration is 2s2 2p3, and then it is sp3 hybridized. Nitrogen is sp3 hybridized, and it will be forming 4 hybrid orbital, in which there is one lone pair of electron, and these three bonds are forming this NH bonds are formed here by the axis on overlapping. So due to the presence of this lone pair, so its structure, its hybridization is sp3. Then its structure is tetrahedral. It is having the tetrahedral structure. Tetrahedral structure, and due to the presence of lone pair of electron, it is basic in nature. And then the bond angle is 107 degree. So this is the bond angle. Bond angle is equal to 107 degree. So these are the properties of ammonia.